All right. Have you ever wondered why? And this is just a magical process. Have you ever wondered why you all of a sudden look up one thing on your computer about maybe some article of clothing, maybe whatever, some sort of cool sweater, whatever, and then all of a sudden you go on your Facebook feed and all of these advertisements for the same clothing pop up? Yeah, those are called algorithms, and um, that's because these companies pay Google to be able to search for your info. What that leads to is this very crazy psychological concept called group polarization. And we're going to learn a little bit more about that today. I am Mr. E. This is MysterE's Mysteries, and we're going to talk some more about the incredible world of psychology. So here's the deal. Social media, the media, Google, Facebook, Twitter, all of these companies are set up using these things called algorithms. And if you've ever seen the movie or the documentary Social Dilemma, you'll know what I'm talking about. But they're set up in algorithms. So what they do is they try to make sure that we stay on the internet, stay on these websites as long as we possibly can, stay on the YouTube reels, stay on Twitter or X, whatever it's called now, TikTok, etc. It feeds us full of stuff that we've already seen, that we're interested in, or it'll feed our feed. It'll feed our feed with the stuff that, hey, if you like this, most people in the world also like this. And so you just keep getting bombarded and bombarded by this stuff that keeps you hooked in to the internet. So that's pretty weird in and of itself. And in Social Dilemma, they talk about, if you're not paying for a product, then you're the product. That's one of the greatest lines ever. Since you're not paying for Facebook or X or that sort of stuff, then you are the product, because they need to make money, and they're going to make money to other companies that are going to try to keep your attention on these feeds as long as possible. So that's a little warped, a little twisted, a little mind games on us. But what it does is it creates something called group polarization, specifically in politics. Oh yeah, politics, scary. Okay, but we're here to talk about the whys. So let's say we have conservatives, right-wing Republicans, we have liberal, left-wing Democrats. Okay, not that you have to be left-wing and be a Democrat, but let's just take those three pieces on each side. If you look up things that are more right-wing, okay, your feed is going to be giving you more and more stuff that is right-wing oriented. If you are left-wing, more liberal, your feed is going to be bombarded with more progressive left-wing stuff. Now, with these algorithms, disinformation travels faster than truth. So when you're being bombarded with these algorithms that will fulfill your extended time on these social media platforms, etc., these platforms are going to try to keep you hooked as long as possible. Okay. And what they're going to do then is your feed is going to be inundated now, not just with things that are right wing, conservative, Republican leaning, or left wing, liberal, Democratic leaning. They're going to give you the absolute extremes. And so what has happened in today's society is we have these two groups. And let's say we have right wing and left wing. Okay. And they used to be right here, right? But now with social media, we get this information and disinformation, and they slowly get further and further separated until they leave your viewing screen. Okay. And they're gone. And what happens is, with this group polarization, these two groups can no longer agree on anything. Not only that, their views of the two groups have become so extreme that they can't even have a conversation with one another. And I'll just give you an example. First of all, I talked about politics, taboo. Second, I'm going to talk about abortion. Woo-hoo-hoo. Uh-oh. But you just stick with me here. So you have a right-wing feed that is constantly be giving information, disinformation, falsehoods, and they get a story on their feed that has gained traction because all of these people that are conservative, right-wing, etc., Republicans, they get this information on abortion about a case where, let's just say, a person who is pregnant went to 8.5 months. They had a healthy fetus and they decided to abort the fetus. I don't think that's ever happened, but you hear that feed and that's all you hear because you live in this vacuum, right? So that's all you hear. So now you think the pro-choice, pro-abortion group is so maniacal. They're so full of lunacy that there's no way I can agree with anything, right? And then you go on the left-leaning, Democratic, progressive wing, and they hear these stories about there's all these organizations out there that have planned all of these bombings for all of these Planned Parenthood organizations. And oh my God, wow. And now the left-leaning group thinks everybody on the right side is a bomber of Planned Parenthood buildings. And it gets to the point where because of social media and because of media in general, that these groups have gotten so far away that we can't even communicate with one another. And I'm actually here, not really as a challenge to you or anything like that, but group polarization occurs all over the place. I teach at a high school, and our high school has rivalries. And when you're a part of one high school, you have rivalries against other high school. Group polarization occurs. Okay. I teach at a high school. Our 9th graders have a rivalry with our 10th graders, or our 11th graders have a rivalry with our 12th graders. And the less you interact with one another, the more you're pulled in opposite directions. So what I want you to do, what I'd love for you to do is I would love for you to take a look at group polarization and see what parts of our world, our history, our lives, your lives, etc., where you see group polarization occurring. I would love for you to check that out and just let me know what you think. Okay, let me know what you think, and we would love to hear what you have to say. I'm MysterE. This has been MysterE's Mysteries. Make sure that you subscribe, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, follow us on Facebook, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram, etc., etc. Okay. Also, I want to thank our producer and director, Bear Wade, and Unified Creative Agency. If you are in the market for a marketer, Bear Wade is a guy for you. So make sure that you check him out. Hey, we'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. See ya.